Hi, my name's Hayley Andrews and I'm the Head of English at Turing House School, which is part of Russell Education Trust. Our school was established in 2015 and I joined just a year later when we only had 2 year groups. So it's been interesting to be building an English curriculum from scratch. Our school was named after Alan Turing, the famous World War II codebreaker, and I think that was a really deliberate choice with the name. I think that name celebrates possibility and potential, but of course it carries a really important message of inclusiveness and advocating for equal treatment for all. Our school is in quite an affluent area, and while we do have a population of Black, Asian, and minority ethnic students, they are a minority. I think it's really important to ensure that our curriculum matches the rich and diverse society that we live in. I first started thinking about diversity in our English curriculum when teaching To Kill a Mockingbird and Of Mice and Men to our Year 9 students. Of Mice and Men was such a popular text that when it was removed from the GCSE syllabus, many schools all over the country wanted to keep it, so moved it down to Year 9, whether that was because we felt it was worth keeping or just because we all had a stock cupboard full of it. We love this text, and I taught it before in a previous school as well, and while I can't deny that students respond really well to it, I found myself feeling uncomfortable teaching it. This all comes down to personal opinion, and others may disagree, but I was conscious that the only BAME narratives we were teaching students presented the Black victim in both of those texts. And with Mockingbird, we also had something of the white saviour narrative, not to mention the problem of the language. We felt increasingly uncomfortable having the N-word spoken in classrooms. And while we, of course, adapted this to make sure we no longer had that, we still came to the decision that that wasn't enough. And there were other texts out there that we could teach Year 9. So as a school, we're making moves this year to remove those texts from our curriculum. And we've already chosen Benjamin Zephaniah's Face to replace Of Mice and Men. I think Face is going to be a great choice for us because the theme of appearance will be really interesting to explore with our students who are, all over apps like Snapchat and TikTok. And I think appearance is something that many teenagers feel quite strongly about and can relate to. And we also that they'll respond really warmly to Zephaniah's writing. With the introduction of the new GCSE in 2015, when I would tell students and parents about our GCSE literature text, I felt uncomfortable that every single text we taught was written by a dead white man, with the exception of a few poems, of course. So we were really pleased when Edexcel added in the diverse text choices for GCSE. We chose to teach Malorie Blackman's Boys Don't Cry because it is such a captivating story and it really engaged our students. Here it is. So for those of you who don't know, the book is about a 17-year-old boy whose ex-girlfriend turns up one day and tells him he's a father. And not only that, she then leaves the baby with him and disappears. So what student wouldn't want to read that? For us, it works really well with the lower ability classes who we were keen to re-engage in English and foster in them an enjoyment and appreciation of literature. I can remember one of my students saying, "Miss, I can't believe we're allowed to study this book at GCSE." I think they engaged with the edgy contemporary issues it raised about life for teenagers today. It is always challenging to change text when you have a text that works, and at GCSE especially when you have a text that gets good results. There's also a budget to think about, as well as the challenge of bringing a whole department along with change and creating extra workload for staff. We also had the extra challenge of being amongst the first few schools to teach Boys Don't Cry, so there were few materials available for us. But luckily Edexcel were great and they provided webinars and resources to really help and guide our planning and teaching. And they've also now published exemplar questions and responses, which helps us feel more confident that we're teaching the right things. There's clearly a growing national movement, and rightly so, towards ensuring schools teach a diverse curriculum. So I think in a few years' time, there'll be almost as many resources for Boys Don't Cry and the other diverse text choices as there are for any other core text at GCSE, as teachers pick up on these new texts and share ideas, as we always do. So to finish, I'd like to share with you some things my students have told me about reading Boys Don't Cry. One student said, "I enjoyed this book because it's modern and it's a really good story." And another said, it's really relevant and you can relate to the characters." And finally, we have one Year 10 student who really struggles to engage in any learning, and he rarely takes part in lessons or even puts pen to paper. We gave him a copy of the book and he came running in one Monday morning saying how he read the entire thing in a weekend and how much he loved it. I think that says it all.